What's going on, guys? So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to do some simple maintenance. I know we do a lot of modifications and stuff here on my channel, but it's oil change time. And instead of going and spending 60, 70, 80 bucks at the dealership, I'm going to show you how to do this yourself. Use quality oil and pay about, I think I'm $32 with Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic. I either use this or Mobil One, it just whatever's a better deal at the time. And then I go to the dealer and get an OEM filter. Part numbers right there. These are a cartridge style filter. So these cars are a little bit different than your normal car to change oil on. They're not hard. This is something you can easily do yourself at home and save yourself a little bit of money. So you do have more modification money or gas money or food money or whatever it is, because everything's so freaking expensive these days. So you'll see here I've got my ramps. My car is lowered, so I use these boards to get it up there a little easier. So without further ado, we'll pull this up on the ramps and I'll show you guys how to get this done. I do typically like doing this with two people. There you have it. So if you've got a car that's slightly lowered like mine, it still barely rubs, but that helps getting them on the ramps a little. So on to step one, open your hood up. So when I was a tech back in another life, I had an old boss, Dale, one of the best guys I've ever worked for. He was a tech for years. I mean, ASE, master, everything. So what he always said to do, first step, pull off your oil cap. And I always asked him why, or I didn't always ask him why. Finally one day I said, why do you do that? He said, okay, well, what if you go down below, empty the oil out, and you can't get this off? It's stripped on here, the cap's broken, something like that. What are you gonna do to go get another cap? And I was like, that's genius, never thought about that. So this has just always stuck with me. That's my first step. So we'll put this somewhere safe, we'll go down below. Okay, once you're underneath the car, hopefully the light that's pointing at us isn't too bright. There's a bunch of these little clips that are super easy to take out. This is covering your oil filter area. You can use a trim tool. For these, I actually like using a flathead screwdriver. Sorry, I'm moving you around. So there's two there. And this is going to cover your oil filter, just right here. So that's going to be the unique part of this car, which we'll get to that. But we need to uncover the drain plug area. So you'll look over here. There's a bunch more of these clips. Make sure you don't lose these. They're just kind of a pain to go get replaced. I mean, I guess the dealer probably has them, but anymore, it's hard to get anything. So like I said, these things are real self-explanatory, so I'm not going to make you watch me remove all these little clippies. There's a handful of them, and then there's two, I believe these are 10 millimeter bolts you'll undo. So I'm going to go ahead and continue taking this off, and we'll get to the next step. Okay guys, so once you get that access panel off, there's the drain plug for the oil pan. So it's going to be a 17 millimeter, if I can figure out where it's at. Sorry, it's hard to do this in film. So you'll put that on there and grab your wrench, or I'm using a socket wrench. Use what you want. Hopefully you can see it on there. And actually I'm gonna have to remove that because I need my oil pan, so sit tight. Okay, there she's draining. I did this without getting any on the floor at all, but I don't want to jinx myself because we're not done yet. So I'm gonna let that completely drain, and then I'll put the drain plug back on, and I'll show you an important part here, so make sure you listen to this. Okay, so remember a second ago, I said this is an important part of the video, and here's why. So on Kias and a lot of other Japanese cars, Asian cars too, they have a crush washer on the drain plug that you're supposed to replace. Now when you get your oil filter from the dealer, it's going to come like this. Comes with this deal. I'll show you what that's for here in a minute. The cartridge filter, a new O-ring, a new clip, and your new crush washer. Make sure you are using that new crush washer. These are one-time use washers. And if you don't replace the washer, then there's a good chance you're going to have an oil leak. Not a drastic one, but a drip here and there will come out of the pan. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, by design, they're made to crush and create a better seal. Throw that in the trash can. Got our new crush washer here. Just slides right on. And I like to clean up as I go. I don't like dirty oil or used oil, new oil either on the bottom of the car. So just kind of a shopkeeping thing. And if you did do this wrong and you cleaned up all your messes and stuff and you have a little oil leak, there won't be any question that you left oil under the car and it's dripping from that. So that, again, that's just another tech tip. So we're gonna go back underneath and zip this on. I say zip it on like we're gonna use an impact and Loctite. I'm just kidding, don't do that. So let's go back down below where it's not fun and it's cramped. Okay guys, so remember I showed you that clip? So that's that clip right here. So let me see if I can, yep. So that comes out, and then you'll take a pair of pliers, like, actually that sounds like, feels like I turn it in my hand. You'll take you could use a pair of pliers, sorry that's blocking our light. There we go. Or something, like I said, I think I'm gonna be able to turn it by hand. Nope, so we'll get a pair of pliers. So what that is you'll turn it, I think it's 45 degrees or 90 degrees, and pull it out, and it'll bleed the oil that's in this canister. So that'll drain a little bit more oil. So I'll show you what that looks like. And you can just throw that away because we aren't going to use it again. Okay, so now that that's drained off, you could probably plug it, but I dropped the thing down in the oil clean or the oil disposable thing. So now you'll finagle your socket in here and undo the housing, which I'm not going to be able to do. Maybe I can. So I'm using a 15/16. I don't know what metric size this is. I didn't have one that fit, but this is pretty close. I think we'll be okay. So just be careful. This is a plastic housing. So I'm gonna sit you down and just unscrew that. So just like anything else, lefty loosey, righty tighty, pretty easy. All right, now that we've got that loosened up, there'll be a little bit of residual oil that drips down, so have your pan under there. And that's it. So now we'll take you up top where the lighting's better, and I'll show you how this all works. Okay, so I know Korean cars get a lot of crap for being junk, and I honestly think that's overblown, and that's from the older cars. What I think is kind of funny is that brand right there is a German brand, so gives you a torque spec and everything. I wouldn't be surprised if this is in some sort of a BMW or something, but anyway, so you pull this cartridge out, and if you're a nerd like me, you can look down in the pleats and make sure there's no metal or anything in there. And then this is where all there's my screwdriver over the way. So this is where the other parts in the bag come from. So there's going to be an O-ring on here that we're going to replace. Now don't get too aggressive with your screwdriver because I don't want you to screw up your threads. Again, we'll clean it off. Now one thing I do suggest doing is when you do this O-ring, I don't know if this is necessary, but on old regular style oil filters, you'd always want to lube up the O-ring before you put it on the car. So we'll just slide that into place. It's lubed up. Voila. And we'll go back to our bag here. Actually, I'm going to grab the filter. So this end, the larger end, is going to go on the bottom. It goes right on that. And then this is that clip I was telling you about. This is going to go in. So it'll be parallel with the side of that hex head. Push it all the way down. I remember this being kind of a pain last time too. Actually. I think I had to do this part first. I don't remember. We'll get through this together. Okay, so you'll push that pin in where it goes, slide your filter in, and then there we go. You just kind of have to maneuver it a little, and then this clip will just go right back in. So our filter is where it needs to be. You can see that on there. Just make sure it's pushed down, and we'll go back over to the car and tighten this up. Now, one thing I can tell you, if you're using a wrench like I did, just be careful. You don't want to over tighten this thing because then you're going to be in a whole world of hurt if this thing cracks. So I wonder if I can just get you, sorry to drop you down there. Oh, and I don't know if I said this a minute ago. Be careful when you tighten down your drain plug too. I just don't want to see you guys over tighten this stuff and end up messing up your car. Okay, so I got it hand snug on there. And now we'll tighten it up the rest of the way with the socket. Okay, got her snug down. So what I did with all these clips and stuff, I just put them right here. So we'll go ahead and put on all the under pieces now. That way, because all we have to do now is up top. So I'm gonna put this in the wrong place. It's really hard to do this stuff and hold the phone. So what I like to do with this is, if it's in the right spot, just grab one of these clips, put it in like so. There you go. It'll hold itself for all the other ones. So I don't think you need to watch me do that. I'm going to put all these clips back in, these two bolts back in, and put these covers back on, and then we'll go up top and fill. All right, guys, we're on the home stretch here. So I apologize if you see a 3-year-old running around in a pull-up in the background. We're potty training. So you don't need a funnel to do this. I just find it easier. So I got everything buttoned up on the bottom. What, buddy? What? What? Just making sure this isn't used oil. I've seen people get used oil before. What? What? And this is the other cool thing about doing this at home. I've got my boy running around. I don't have to go sit in a dealer. There's just a bunch of positives. So just pour this in slowly. You can see that oil's nice and new. So like I said, Mobil 1 or Pennzoil Platinum is my go-to. These cars use 0W20, which is kind of a weird, I think it's a weird weight. You know, I've had 5W20 or 30 or whatever. I had a Ram 1500 2 vehicles ago. I think it used a weird weight, but there you have it. So we'll go ahead and put this oil cap back on. I don't want to drip everywhere. You're watching Daddy change oil. So 0W20, even says so on the cap. Now we'll go inside and I'll show you how to reset your oil interval thing. One other piece of advice I can give, when you start the car up, just listen. Make sure you don't have any weird noises or anything like that. I like to turn it on to not accessory mode, but the one after that. That's not true. That's whatever the dealer said. I go 5,000 miles on oil changes. I did my last one at 4,800 miles, so I'm just a little bit over. So hold on, Bubba, let me finish this. So I don't know if this actually primes anything. I don't know if these cars have a mechanical oil pump. I would assume they do, I guess. A lot of them do, but we'll go ahead and start it up. Make sure we don't have any bad noises, and the car's running like a top, just like it was before. So we'll go into setup here. Can't remember if it's in vehicle or general. Sir, can I help you? Maybe you should go to the dealer because you don't have a 3-year-old yelling at you the whole time. Of course it's in neither. I don't know why it's in here. So vehicle. This took me longer than the oil change did. Convenience, oil reminder, service intervals. So this is what I was telling you about. You can change it 37 days. This is, I do all my own maintenance. So it reminds me every time. I guess I should change that, but we'll go back to oil change reminder. So this says 30%. So I went 5,000 miles. I think that's a pretty safe mileage to go with a full synthetic. So all you're gonna do is hit reset. Yes, and it's gonna reset. And just for my records, you're at 10,282 miles. So one thing I will say too is when you do an oil change, I know people worry about warranty stuff and oil changes. Take a picture of your receipt. Take a picture of your oil, take a picture of your cluster, just that way you can show you did an oil change. So just a little helpful tip. I don't know if you would ever need that, but just in case you ever ran into warranty issues down the road, that's just a little tip I have for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and close the hood, back this down, and I'll do my final thoughts. All right guys, so we got it all wrapped up. It's about a 20-30 minute job if you're taking your time. I think it took me 30 minutes while recording. So tools you'll need: 10mm socket. This is nice but not necessary. I use 15/16. I will try to find, I want to say it's like a 25mm, 26mm. You can use that too. 17mm. You can just use wrenches. Again, I like making things easier on myself, so I use ratchets and stuff like that. A pair of pliers for the plug on the bottom of your oil filter cartridge, and a flathead screwdriver. So I'll give you these final thoughts. So I've gone through some really hard times in my life, right? And every time I would go through those hard times, especially when I was younger, you just kind of sulk. What do I do? Where do I go from here? So one thing I've learned in my life is do something, get something done, an accomplishment. Wash your dog, you know, go for a walk, mow your yard, wash your car. All those little things take your mind off whatever problems you have and make you, you feel like you accomplished something, and that makes you just a little bit better. And once you start getting to the age that you constantly do these things, life just gets much easier, and it helps you get through those hard times. So, you know, you're saving maybe $30 every 6 months, every 4 months, however much you drive, by doing it this way. I haven't even priced an oil change. Maybe they're closer to $80 or $100 now. Again, that's up to your local Kia dealer. I'm like $35 into this, 30 minutes in the garage. I accomplished something. I know the oil was changed with a quality product. So that's just my 2 cents on why I changed my own oil. And I think you should too. So pretty easy, can't really screw it up. Follow this video. I gave you all the tools. You walk to your local, walk or drive to your, I don't know why you walk, you got a car if you're here, right? The oil filter was like 12 bucks there, I think. And that might have been with tax. And then I think I spent 23 on the oil. So these cars do take, it's like 5.07 quarts. This is 5 quarts. That's just what I do. It's enough. You don't need to buy an extra quart, put a little bit more in. So yeah, like I said, I assume you guys are all here for car modifications and car content and stuff. And this is one thing I like doing to make life just a little bit easier. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. As always, like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, hit me up. I answer every question or comment in every video that I can. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Have a great day. And the next one's a modification, so it might be a little more exciting. Catch you next time.